let's keep this sequel train a-going with the Dragon Republic, sequel to the Poppy War that we did a few weeks ago. So, last time, Rin and her friends were not in a very good place. Traumatized thanks to the war, with very bad things happening and Rin giving in to her anger to basically use fantasy nukes. I mean, it's allegorically like that. But, volcanoes aren't really nukes, but still, she set off a giant volcano and basically won the war. Too bad she doesn't get anything for it. She's still traumatized and lost some of the most important people to her. Anyway, she now finds herself an opium-addicted grunt of a pirate queen. And while pirate queens are really cool, I mean, look up 20th century Chinese pirate queens. They're really interesting. Well, there's one, but still, she's really interesting. They're not really good at therapy, which is what Rin really needs. And, well, she's not in a good place, being, opium addicted and all that kind of stuff. Thankfully, I say that with giant air quotes, an old friend of hers from school, Neza Yin, comes in and swoops her up to join his father's army, as they intend to kill the Empress, take over, and start a republic, getting the titular Dragon Republic as his dad is the Dragon Emperor. So they basically sort of kidnap Ren and bring her on their plan to kill the Empress. And, well, Ren wants to kill the Empress for her own personal reasons, blaming her for all the shit she had to go through in the last book, particularly when it comes to the war and stuff. However, because, you don't really confront the main villain within the first, arc of the story, and, well, of course it goes bad. It goes really bad. The assassination attempt ends with Rin basically being able to use her Phoenix powers, the source of her fire stuff that she was doing, all the time. Yeah, well, she can't connect to it anymore because of the Empress's poison, because the Empress has her own god, because of course she does. Well, it's not anywhere better from there on, because now, with that assassination attempt, they're on yet another full-scale war. This time between the burgeoning Dragon Republic and the Empire that, they were once under. And all the while, she's basically used a living bargaining chip and a tool for any faction that basically can help the Republic with their power. In particular, the Hesperians, who are basically the British, or the Spanish, who was super big in China during the 20th century. I'll look it up later. But anyway, they're basically the British. Yeah, she's treated less as a person and more of a political tool and whatnot, even though she doesn't have her fire powers anymore. They still consider her a giant threat because of the whole volcano incident from last book. And, well, at the same time, she's growing ever more cautious of said Hesperians because, they don't see her as a person, and they're waving their guns around all over the place. And their ministers are basically touchy-feely creepy. Not in a sexual way, though, but in a whole you're a slab of meat way. So, yeah, if you thought Rin had it tough last time around, this time she's going further around the drain that is her toil of a life. Faced with the trauma from last time and being told more and more she's less of a human being and more of a tool for power, all the while struggling with said power says she's supposed to have control over by now. Girl really needs a really long break, which she barely gets in this story. I mean, Rin's story's not an easy one, and I'm curious as to where her character will go considering all the crap she's been through. And as I mentioned earlier, they're the Hesperians. As it turns out, the real villain were British imperialists the whole time. I'm exaggerating for effect, but I'm kind of spot on. The Hesperians are a constant as the war rages, and they, weigh their odds. Well, their odds. With Rin basically being seen as less a human in their eyes and more a tool for their religious study and potential weapon as the war rages on. And, well, they're shown to have been playing around in the area far longer than Rin and most of the other characters could have known. They're basically the true enemy, or have been a true enemy the entire time. Anyway, this is yet another chapter in Ren's heavily damaged life as she struggles to move forward. But even beaten and traumatized, she continues to push forward, and there's something to appreciate in that. And just like last time, this is an enjoyable read, and when they say Grimmdark, they mean Grimmdark for how this is described. Still enjoyable either way, and I can't wait to see how the book wraps up things, because this is apparently a trilogy, and the last book, which hasn't even been announced yet, will wrap up the story. But the whole 20th century China thing kind of hangs over and makes it obvious where this might go, but still kind of intrigued about how we get there. Oh, And one thing I do want to mention real quick is the fact that the book plays around with the idea of giving Ren the love interest, but it never commits to it in all the right ways. Ren basically has more important crap to worry about and deal with than, some guy or whatnot. Her main motivation a lot of times is searching for a father figure or searching for a romantic figure in a way, but it often turns out bad for her. Need to say less. So, in a swarm of stories that rush the hook of their characters up before endgame, I'm kind of happy and will always applaud a story that basically says its characters have more important crap to be dealing with right now, such as this one. So, yeah, not a romance story, obviously. This is a story about war, trauma, and a bunch of terrible things happening in all the best ways. So, yeah, see you next time.